I'm sorry. I see I got my days mixed up. Wisdom Wednesdays. So today, you guys, we are going to dive into it. But before we get started, I just want to wish everybody a belated Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you guys enjoy your Christmas. Listen, be excited that you are alive today, right? When I think I seen a post on social media where it said, what did you mostly enjoy about Christmas? And I would have to say is that God allowed me to see another Christmas and see the beautiful people that he has put into my life and allowed myself and those individuals to grow with one another. So I'm excited for the new friends, the new family. I'm excited that me and my wife had the opportunity to share yet a second Christmas together. So I'm just excited overall about everything. So, hey, listen, 2018, this is the last week, you guys, right? Last week for you guys to do whatever it is that you need to do to close out, to finish up. And this is what it's all about. It's all, you got to turn the burners up. The grind starts now because you want to start rolling into 2019 with that fire mentality, with that fire spirit. So my encouragement is to start the engines now and go full speed ahead right now. So that way, when that New Year's come, you don't start then, right? Because we all know that it takes momentum to start up, right? It takes momentum to start up. So the quote for today, knowledge and wisdom: work like you don't need the money, love like you've never been hurt, dance like nobody's watching. I'll say it again, you guys. Knowledge and wisdom. The quote for today: work like you don't need the money, love like you've never been hurt, and dance like nobody's watching. So I'm going to elaborate on this particular quote before I give you guys some tips on how you can carry these tips over into 2019 to reshift and rechange the way you think, the way you live your lifestyle, just for you, just being a new you. So again, work like you don't need the money. Listen, you see, when you put yourself in a position to where you're working to live paycheck to paycheck, it becomes a burden, so to speak, right? You know, that the mentality of I'm tired of this job, this and that, it starts to play into your mind, and you start to become bitter about certain situations. You start to become bitter about your life. However, if you guys got on at the right time, you heard Duvall say, I'm living my best life. Smile, right? You have to wake up every morning, every day, going into that job and say, listen, hey, I'm doing this so I can learn a new skill set, right? I'm doing this so I can better enhance my attributes so I can start my own business, right? You got to start looking at your situation from a positive view, right? You have to. So I encourage you guys to make sure that you're working not for the money, right? Work for the skill. Work for the knowledge, work for the understanding of saying, okay, what can I learn from where I'm working at? And how can I take the things that I'm learning to help me start my own business? See, it may be you want to own a management company, right? And where you're working at, they have a skill set that teaches, or the position that you're currently in teaches a little bit about management, right? So you got to look at it from that perspective, you guys. Okay. The next one, love like you've never been hurt. Listen, we were talking about this the other night. I don't go to church for the pastors. I go to church for God. So my word, my mind, and the word that I'm looking to hear is from God, right? I don't care about what pastor does outside of the church. It doesn't affect me, right? And it's just me, right? Just me talking. I go for the word, but I love like I've never been hurt before. And we've all had that situation, right? Where you had church hurt, where you had relationship hurt. However, I am not going to allow one pain to cause more pain. I am not going to allow my hurt to suffocate the love that I have for people. I'm not going to allow my hurt, my past relationships to suffocate my marriage, right? So you have to stop allowing the hurt to overtake the love. And I hope that helps somebody. We have to stop. We have to stop with the excuses. And listen, here's the thing. Here's the reality of it. Everybody on earth has been hurt before to some degree. And I understand that it's not an easy thing. It's very hard. It's very hard. I mean, it's hurtful, right? We're human. We have hearts. We have love. But let me tell you something. Love overpowers everything. When I tell you, what irritates the enemy the most is when you say, I love you. I love you no matter what, because you got to remember what God we serve, right? He loves everybody, right? And of course, I'll save that for the encounter where they will continuously dive into various topics. Hopefully that could possibly be a topic for the encounter, you guys. And then, of course, last but not least, dance like nobody is watching. Hey, look, I don't care, right? Listen, you have to love yourself to the magnitude or to the point where you don't care what nobody else feels or sees about you, right? You have to love yourself to that magnitude, to that degree. So I encourage each and every last, please dance like nobody is watching. So again, knowledge and wisdom. Work like you don't need the money. I am going to give you guys some tips. I want you to carry this out today going into 2019. I have a whole bunch of these particular tips. Some of these tips you probably heard me give in the previous shows. They may be just worded a little bit differently, and I'm going to describe them a little bit differently, hopefully giving you guys some analogies and things of that nature. So number one is live every day on a fresh new start, right? You got to remember, you guys, that as soon as you close your eyelids and you open those eyelids up, today, that day is a new day, right? Don't be held back by what happened yesterday, the day before, the week before, the year before, or even decades ago. Life is short, so live it in the present moment. This is the reason why I always say I am reality, because that's what I'm living in right now, right? I understand that there's things out there in the world that may be able to enhance this and enhance that, but I know that in reality, at this moment, at this time, where I'm at right now, I have to live for this moment, right? I can no longer, or I cannot live in the past, because see, it affects my present and it stops me from moving in the future, right? So I know you guys heard me say that before, but I want to hammer that into your mentality so you guys can fully understand where I'm coming from in regards to making sure that you're no longer living in the past. You are living in the present so you can prepare for the future. The next one, you guys, is be true to who you are. Listen, you guys hear me say it all of the time. Go out and be great to yourself first, and then be great to somebody else. Because here's the reality of it. How can you even be great to somebody else if you don't know how to be great to yourself, right? You've heard me use this analogy before, and I'll use it again and again and again all the way until the end of times, is that on that airplane, they tell you if you ever ran into a situation and that mask came down, you do not put it on your passenger, right? You have to put it on yourself first to give you oxygen for you to be able to help your passenger, if the case may be. But think about the mentality of it, right? It tells everybody, help yourself first. So what do you think your passenger is going to do when that mask comes down? They're going to put it on themselves. So that way, when you look to the right, they taken care of. When you look to the left, they're taken care of. So I'm telling you now, you have to be great to yourself first before you can be great to anybody else. Stop trying to please other people or to be someone else, right? It's better to be an original version of yourself rather than be an exact duplicate of someone else. Woo! You look, I'm gonna tell you, look, the Holy Spirit touched me on that one, and he touched me on it this morning as I was getting ready and preparing to come on the radio station today. You know, my grind is not identified by what I have seen, right? My grind is not identified by the nice house. It's not identified by a nice car. It's not identified by the bank account of money. See, seeing those things only does one thing for me. It lets me know that it exists. It lets me know that it's a possibility. It lets me know that, hey, I can do it too. So there isn't I'm not trying to, my grind does not identify for me to be better than anybody else. See, I'm not grinding for the man that's on the corner who claims to be the richest man in the world. That's not why I grind. I'm not grinding because my next door neighbor may have a Maserati and I say, hey, I want to get one, or I can get one too. See, that's not what my grind is identified by. See, my grind is identified by my family. See, it's identified by my morals. See, I have kids that I have to take care of. I have a wife that I have to take care of. You see, I have a certain preference on how I want to purchase towel sets or purchase yard or whatever the case may be. See, this is my world, right? The world that I live in, or I have my own mentality of where I want things to be, or what I want to do, or where I want to go. So with that being said, I do not grind because of somebody else. Please stop getting caught up. Be true to who you are. Number 3. Oh, y'all heard me say this before. We did it. We talked about it a couple, I think last Wednesday or last Monday. Quit complaining. Quit complaining. Don't be like the howling dog, always howling and never doing anything. Stop complaining about your problems and work on them instead. Listen, I can only tell you some of the things that I went through this weekend, right? And they have occurred some problems. However, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to complain about those problems. I now have situations that I have to deal with, right, as an adult, and I have to take those situations on as an adult, right? Because the reality of it is, it's done. It happened. It is what it is. So what I have to do is I have to be grateful for what? I have to be grateful that God allowed me to still be here. I have to be grateful that God is with me through these particular problems. And now I'm going to make sure that I resolve these problems. And yes, that means it may cost more money than I expected, right? However, when you have a mentality like that and you position yourself and you say to yourself, okay, listen, here's the reality, right? Here's the reality of this particular situation. I'm not going to complain to nobody about it. I just have to deal with it. Now, here's the resolutions. Here's the solutions to resolving this problem. Number 4, be proactive. This is very important, you guys. You got to be proactive. Stop waiting for others around you to do something and take action yourself instead. You know, we're so afraid because, you know, well, are you going to do it with me, or do you have to, or we're waiting for other people when it's you. It is you. Be proactive, right? Be proactive in anything that you put your mind to. Stop procrastinating, right? Stop making that excuse. Stop building yourself up to give an excuse of the reason why you can't get it done today, right? See, one of the things that I want you guys to identify and recognize is that if you can say, oh, well, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. And when you really look at it, you can say, well, you know what, I really could just take 5 minutes and get it done today. If you're battling with that, my advice to you is just get it done today. Stop putting off things for tomorrow that you can get taken care of today, right? Number 5, rather than think what if, think next time. Don't think about the things you can't change, right? Namely, what has happened in other people's thoughts or unhappy things, because these are disempowering. Instead, focus on the things you can action on. That's the most constructive thing you can do in any situation. So we'll write a to-do list down, right? And we'll think that I'm supposed to complete everything on this to-do list today. And the reality of it is what happens is that you may start out real good. 1, 2, 3, you may be able to get complete. And the reason why is because it's easy, right? But then when you start to get to 4, 5, and 6, you start to get frustrated. And when you start to get frustrated, what happens is it never gets done. Not only does it not get done that day, but it never gets done next time either, or the next time, or the next time. See, you have to set out a proper schedule, and you got to live in reality to say, I got 10 things on this to-do list. Okay. I am not going to get all of these 10 things done today, nor does all these 10 things have to be done today. See, sometimes we rush our situations faster than what we need to, right? So you got to say to yourself, okay, let me sit here and section out what is the most important thing that really needs to get done right at this moment. And see, it may be 2 or 3 things. And in your mindset, you may say to yourself, well, I just don't feel like I'm productive. And the reality of it is if you're checking off these things to do on your to-do list, trust me when I tell you, you're being productive. And what you're doing is you're not allowing your mind to get cluttered, right? You're not overwhelming yourself to get frustrated, to now have that list turning even to a longer list because you never completed the remaining of that list. Space yourself out. Take a deep breath, relax, calm down. It's going to get done, right? You're going to do it because some things that's on that to-do list might require more time that you may not have on the day that you wrote down on a to-do list. So you have to space it out, you guys. You got to put yourself in a position to say, okay, listen, this is what I know for a fact I'm going to be able to get done today. Now let me see what can I get done tomorrow. And you just take those things and you move them wherever it goes. So if it takes till Thursday or Friday, you have to space yourself out. Number 6, I'm sorry. Focus on what versus how. Focus on what you want first before you think about how to do it. Anything is possible as long as you set your mind, heart, and soul to it. So you got to focus on what you want to do versus how you're going to do it, right? We mix this up completely in life because we always talk about how I'm going to do this or how I'm going to do that. Well, is this something that you really want to do? Focus on what you want to do first, on what to do first before you decide on how to do it, right? Because see, some things that you want to do, right, or that you feel that you should get done, there's a service for that can take that out of your particular your to-do list or whatever it is that you got set forth. Or if it's even when it's opening up a business, they could be a particular software, right? Instead of you trying to do it for yourself. So make sure that you focus on what versus how. Number 7, create your own opportunities. You can wait for opportunities, or you can go out there and create your own opportunities. The latter is definite and much more empowering. Listen, I don't need nobody to certify me to be a speaker. I'm sorry. My partner was just talking about this before the show started. I don't need nobody to identify me that I need to be a speaker. I need to be a certified speaker. I'm sorry. I don't need nobody but one person, and that's God up above. See, he gave me the voice. He gave me the know-how. Now, I'm not saying that you guys can't participate in trainings to be better, because I take training, right? I listen to certain motivational things. I do some seminars from time to time to enhance my attributes in regards to speaking. But I don't need to go to a university for somebody to tell me that I can become a speaker. So listen, that's another topic for another day, another subject, and we'll dive into that later on in 2019. But what I'm telling you guys is create your own opportunities, right? Just put yourself in the right mentality and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it. Cannot allow any obstacles that you're going to face destroy you from the opportunities that you're set out to create. Stop waiting for an instruction manual, okay? Because it's never going to come, right? You see, certain things require an instruction manual and certain things that it doesn't, right? So I'm telling you now, stop waiting on somebody to hand you a guide to opportunities. You got to go out there and create your own. Number 8, live more conscientiously every day. All right. Listen, you have to stop sleepwalking through life. Your life is something to be experienced, not coasted through. Okay. Stop sleepwalking throughout life. Listen, you got to stop being lost, you guys. You got to stop being lost. You got to stop putting yourself in a position to where you're not enhancing your skill sets. You got to stop saying, listen, I get it. You know, one of my mentees does not have a Facebook page, and we're going to create one this week. One of my mentees don't like photos. They're going to do a photo shoot starting next month. You see, the key is to take you out of your element of being comfortable, right? And introducing you to something that's, uncomfortable. Because the key is you never know where your best abilities are if you don't test it, right? You got to stop sleepwalking through life, you guys, thinking that and living the same course of life every day, day in and day out. Just switch it up just a little, right? Switch it up just a little. Listen, I had to do that to myself. Listen, here's something about me that you guys don't know. Like Chili's, right? The restaurant, I only eat the triple play. That's it. That's all I eat. I've never eaten anything from Chili's besides the triple play until about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. I said, you know what? Today I am going to do something totally different that I've never done before. I'm going to try something different on the menu for once, right? And sure enough, when I did, it was actually good, right? And not only now, the next time I went to Chili's, I got the same thing again, right? Because it was so good. So, but now I'm starting to say, you know what? I want to explore a little bit and go a little bit further than just putting myself in a box and staying one-minded, closed-minded, right? Number 9, be committed to your growth, okay? Be committed in your growth. There are 17 levels, right, to be committed, from shame to enlightenment. The higher your commitment level, the richer your life of experience. Achieve a higher commitment comes from your commitment to your growth, okay? I'll say it again, you guys. Be committed to your growth. You got to want to learn to be great. You got to want to learn to be successful. See, listen, the journey of success will never be easy. And I promise you, they'll never hand you a training manual or a guide to how to go through success. It doesn't work like that. We grow, right? We learn from the mistakes that we have made from our previous life, right? And we take those things that we've learned and we have matured ourselves. See, that's growth. We've matured ourselves going into this new life, right? So think about 2018, right? Me and my wife had a conversation, and from January until December, we've had some storms, right? But look at this. When you guys saw my wife on the encounter this last Sunday, didn't you see her smile? Didn't you see how beautiful she was? And it's the same thing with me, right? You still see me smiling. You still see me out here. We fed the homeless Christmas Eve. That's what it's all about, right? No matter the storms that we weathered from January until now, we did not allow those storms to destroy who we really are. We did not allow those storms to destroy what God has set us out to do. I'm telling you, one thing is that when you get caught up in the storms, you get caught off track. See, if we would have got caught up in the storm, we would have never been able to feed the homeless this Christmas Eve. You see, if we got caught up in the storm, we would have never had a proper plan for 2019. See, if we got caught up in the storm, we would have never been able to organize certain things in our lives. See, that's how I know that the enemy is upset, is because, see, when he can't destroy your life, right, then he starts to destroy things around it that you love, right? And we understand that. However, when we don't give him authority over that, right, that's when we take control of the storm. That's when we take control of the situation. So just be committed to your growth, right? You have to set out a commitment to yourself to say, I am going to lose this weight. Under what? Even if you go onto that scale every other week and you don't see any results, keep going. Don't stop, right? Because eventually what's going to happen is your body is going to say, oh, so you're just not going to give up. Oh, I'm not until I lose this weight, right? You just got to be committed. Number 10, know your inner self. This means knowing who you are and what you represent. Be clear of your personal identity, right? There's a book that I'm going to encourage you guys to get. It's called Finding Your Inner Self. That is the book, Finding Your Inner Self. Just know your inner self, you guys. Again, this means knowing who you are and what you represent. It is very important to your lifestyle. It is very important to your success. You got to know who you are on the inside in order for it to flourish on the outside. Number 11, discover your life purpose. Set the mission statement for your life, one that will drive you to live your life to the fullest. Okay, I'm going to give you guys another book. Here you go again. The book is How to Find Your Life Purpose. It's a series. Okay, How to Find Your Life Purpose. And the previous book was Finding Your Inner Self. However, you have to discover your life purpose, right? I think I found this out in 2007 is when I found out what my life purpose was. And my life purpose was to serve, right? To be a ministry entrepreneurs, right? That's my servitude. See, you got the people who minister in church and outside of church about the word of God and things of that nature, and they travel across the world. I'm what you call a spiritual entrepreneur who's taking the facets, the scriptures that's within the Bible that talks about entrepreneurship, right? And I'm taking those particular things and I'm introducing it to entrepreneurs around the world to make them become just as successful as I am, if not more, that much more successful, right? So I now understand what my divine purpose is on this earth, and it is to leave my legacy to be the number one entrepreneur in the world, right? That has birthed other entrepreneurs. It's not about me making them millionaires. It's about making me understand how to get to the millions. You see, I can make as many millionaires as possible, and they can fall on their face. To me, that means a job was not done correctly. My job is to get individuals to understand entrepreneurship and get them to put them in a position to get to the millions, right? So they can keep it, right? So discover your life purpose. Number 12, live in alignment with your purpose. So once you discover it, right, you now have to live within it, right? You got to live in alignment, right? You get a wheel alignment on your car. That means the left side and the right side has to even up, right? So that way, when you let go of that wheel, those wheels, wherever they're going, they're going to stay on the course, right? It's the same thing with you. Once you discover your purpose, you then have to live in alignment with your purpose. What can you start doing immediately that will let you live 100% in alignment with your purpose? How can you live true to your purpose within every situation you are in every second of the day? So you have to make sure that, see, for me, my purpose, my drive, is servitude, right? So for me, I'm always thinking of different business opportunities or different companies or different ways that I'm serving to the community, that I'm a servant to the people, right? Just think about Motivational Mondays and Wisdom Wednesdays and Featured Entrepreneur Fridays. You see, Motivational Mondays, I'm giving you guys 1 hour of my time to encourage you, to keep you motivated. I'm serving you to help you stay the course, to help you get throughout the day. On Wisdom Wednesdays, I'm encouraging you to enhance your wisdom, right? I'm encouraging you that, hey, it's going to get better. Just be wise about the decisions that you're making. Again, I'm serving you because I'm giving you an hour of my time to give you the opportunity to listen to this radio show at the particular times that are set out, and then featured Entrepreneur Fridays, I'm serving by introducing and acknowledging other entrepreneurs that are also out there paving the way, just like myself and any other entrepreneur that's out there. So I'm serving, I'm making sure that these entrepreneurs are getting the acknowledgement that they need to get. So I'm asking you to live in alignment with your purpose, right? Next one, set your life commandments. You hear me? Set your life commandments. Define your personal commandments to live your best life. What agendas and principles do you want to follow in your life, right? Those are your own personal commandments, right? So you for me, right? I have to I make sure that I'm honoring my wife, right? I'm making sure that I'm doing everything that I can to take care of her. That's one of my commandments. Another one of my commandments is to make sure that I be a great father to my children, right? That's another one of my commandments. So I have my own commandments within my lifestyle that I have to live by in order for me to be able to continue to be that server for God. In order for me, one of those commandments is to serve God to my all high, right? Is to make sure that with everything that I got, I'm serving him. That's part of my own personal commandment. So I encourage you guys to set your life commandments. Number 14, discover your values. Values are the essence of what makes you, you. Listen, you're valuable, right? And I get it. People's time is valuable. People's money is valuable. But you as a person, you're also valuable. There is no price that can be put on your head for what you do or for who you are. You are a value to your kids. You are a value to your wife and your husbands. You are a value to society. You are a value to your job. You are a value, just for living. So you have to make sure that you discover your different values, right? God has blessed us tremendously with different skill sets on how to articulate, build, or reconstruct certain things. So I'm telling you now that you guys are extremely valuable. The people who are listening today, you are valuable. The people who are watching today, you are valuable. So discover your values, okay? Number 15, hold yourself to the highest conducive, right? Hold yourself to the highest conducive. So every one of us have our own set of ethics and principles. Live true to them every day. Also, live in full alignment with your purpose, right? And the commandments and the values. So it's almost like we're intertwining 12, 13, and 14 all together. Every one of us has our own set of ethics and principles, right? You have to live by them, right? I have certain ethics and principles that has to take place in my house. I have certain ethics and certain principles that have to take place in my business. What are your ethics and what are your principles? Have you really identified what they really are? And if you haven't, I encourage you now to take the time to make sure that you do. Okay. Number 16, this is very important, you guys. Stop putting life on hold. Are you putting any parts of your life on hold? That's a question. Are you? Are you putting any parts of your life on hold? What is one area of your life you have been putting off, avoiding, or denying? Uncover that and start working on it. Listen, stop putting your life on hold for yourself. Stop putting your life on hold for other people. Stop putting your life on hold because, my life isn't where I want it to be right now. Stop putting your life on hold. I'm telling you now, it's not a good look, right? Uncover it and start working on it. Because if you continuously put it on hold, it will never get done. And it'll come to a point where it's too late. Don't allow it to be too late. I'm telling you now, I'm encouraging you guys now going into 2019. If you have anything that you've been putting off for X amount of years, I am telling you now to stop doing that, right? Make sure that you start uncovering what you need to do and start doing what God has put it in your heart, your mind, and in your soul to do. He didn't give you the vision for nothing. Number 17, create your life handbook. Create your life handbook. Your life handbook is your personal manual to live your best life, containing your mission statement, your values, your goals, your personal strengths, blind spots, and action plans. Start off with a few basic pages and then build on it, right? Create your own life handbook. And listen, it's a good way to have memories, right? About where you were at, where you came from, to where you are now, right? It would be a good read within itself. It would be a good read within itself. Design, the next one, number 18, design your ideal life. What is your ideal life? Design it. Firstly, assess your life via the life wheel, right? Then ask yourself what it takes to live a 10 for 10 life, right? What is the life that will make you shout for joy? There are no limits in life, only those you set for yourself. So listen, this will coincide and go with creating that vision board. And myself and my team, we're going to be doing a vision board party, so to speak. And right now, myself and my booking agent is determining if we're going to make it a open to the public type or thing, or will we just keep it closed or in-house with our team. However, I will encourage you guys to put together a vision board. And listen, when you do a vision board, don't allow the things that you put on that board to just stop there, right? Your goal is to, once you create that vision board and you complete that vision board, go after another one, put another one out there. So you have to keep driving and striving until you reach it. And see, listen, here is what I encourage you. Of course, reading the Bible every day. And then, of course, making sure you read that vision board every day as well. So when you see that car that you got put out there, that's my car. That's the car I'm going to get. When you see that house, that's the house. That's the house I'm going to get. See, that's the only way that it starts coming to life, is because you speak it into existence, right? You speak it into life. So I'm encouraging you guys, design your ideal life. And that is basically create a vision board, right? Number 19, you guys heard me speak about this time after time and after time again. And it is set your goals, right? This is very important. You have to listen. You can set them here and it's okay, but you have to write them down on paper, you guys. Listen, I am begging you. I'm begging you. Please write your goals down. And I know you may think, oh, I got the best memory in the world. And, I don't need to write anything down. I am telling you now, if you do not write them down, they will not come to life. All right. They will not come to life. Set your goals. After you design your ideal life, after you did your vision board, set your 5-year, 3-year, and even 1-year goals. The more specific they are, the better, right? Stop taking your goals outreach, right? Keep them right here. Keep them realistic, right? Don't get me wrong. We all have dreams, right? And we're supposed to dream, and that's perfectly great. However, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your goals are realistic in regards to when you're going to be able to reach those goals. Because I promise you, once you reach that goal, you become that much more happier, right? You become that much more empowered by continuously going after your goals. So make sure that you guys set your goals, write those goals down. Okay. Number 20, take action on your goals and dreams. Now here's the problem, right? A lot of people may say, oh, well, my goals I didn't write down, or whatever the case may be. What I'm telling you now is that if you do not go after your goals, they're not going to become. So you can write them down. See, step one, we take them from the mind to paper. When you write them down on paper, you can't just sit back and wait for those dreams and those goals to just come true. You got to act on it. You have to act on it. So I'm telling you guys now that you have to make sure that you act on your goals, right? You got to take action on your goals and your dreams. Create an action plan for your goals and work on it. Remember, see, when you say that I want to reach this goal in 1 year, you have to set an action plan out on how you're going to reach that goal in 1 year, right? And after you reach that 1 year goal, okay, now I got to focus on my 3-year goal, because my plan is, it says I want to get it done in 3 years. However, what steps and what plan of action can I prepare myself to probably condense that time down to where it takes it from 3 years to maybe 2 years or 1.5 years or maybe even a year, right? And that's because you're already empowered by completing that first goal. Number 21, create your bucket list. Listen, at one point, I didn't know the importance of a bucket list until I did one myself. I encourage you to Google bucket list. It's just a form where you write, it's like a checkbox, right? And you write all of the things down that you want to do in life, right? Period. Whether it's going to Cuba, going to Italy, or whatever the case may be, right? So make sure that you create your bucket list, which is a list of things to do before you die. Then get out there to achieve them, right? Number 22, we're gonna wrap up, you guys. I'm gonna give you one more after this, and I'm gonna close you guys out. Number 22, don't do things for the sake of doing them. Always evaluate what you're doing and only do it if there's a meaning behind them. Don't be afraid to quit the things that don't save your path. Okay. You have to stop doing things just to be doing them, because it's a time waster, right? Sometimes you have to say no to certain things, right? I had to turn down a lot of speaking engagements because it just time and money, right? I didn't want to have to deal with that, right? I didn't want to have to deal with that. So, hey, sometimes you have to say no. Just stop doing things for the sake of just doing them. And then last but not least, you guys, number 23, and keep in mind, I got plenty of them to go, but our time is running short on the show. But number 23, do the things you love, because life is too precious to be doing anything else. If you don't enjoy something, then don't do it. Spend your time and energy on the things that bring you fulfillment and happiness. Listen, make sure that you guys go out with a bang in 2018, preparing yourself for 2019 to do the things that you want to do. Listen, in 2019, it's all about doing the things that you want to do. So I'm encouraging you guys. Listen, the next song, the song that we're going to play, that was the song we played at the beginning, and we're going to play the motivational video right after that. But I'm encouraging you guys to live your best life starting now, so you can carry that best life over into 2019. And most of all, in 2019, make sure you are changing the way you think, the way you feel, the way you speak, and the way you love people. Listen, my name is Dr. Casual Pitts. That's that piece for Wisdom Wednesdays. Make sure you go out and be great to yourself first, and then be great to somebody else. Peace.